Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 1109th day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Russia has lost approximately 883,950 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war. The number includes 1,000 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 4 tank, 12 armored combat vehicles, 24 artillery systems, 3 air defense systems, 3 multiple launch rocket systems, 148 drones, 35 cruise missile, 113 vehicles, and 3 pieces of special equipment. In the last 24 hours, the Russians launched 150 combat clashes and carried out 64 airstrikes, including 71 guided bombs on the territory of Ukraine. They also used 13-17 kamikaze drones and carried out around 5,000 attacks on the positions of Ukrainian troops and settlements using various types of weapons. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports. Overnight on the 6th of July-March, Russia launched its largest multi-axis long-range aviation strike of 2025, using up to 35 As-23 Kodiak air-launched cruise missiles, land attack cruise missiles from the Black Sea Fleet, short-range ballistic missiles, and over 100 one-way attack drones. This large-scale assault aimed to overwhelm Ukrainian air defenses. Targets included Ukraine's energy sector, particularly gas infrastructure, as part of a strategy to exploit winter conditions, demoralize civilians, and weaken the economy. The Kodiak remains central to Russia's major strikes, with lower-intensity attacks earlier in the year allowing for stockpile replenishment, ensuring readiness for future operations with minimal warning. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. Russian forces conducted one of the largest ever missile and drone strikes against Ukraine on the night of March 6 to 7 as Russian forces continue to adapt strike packages to overwhelm Ukraine's air defense umbrella by increasing the total number of Shahd and decoy drones in each strike. Russian forces began increasing the number of Shahd and decoy drones in strike packages in fall 2024, likely to adapt to successful Ukrainian electronic warfare innovations. Russia will likely take advantage of the suspension of U.S. military aid to and intelligence sharing with Ukraine to intensify its long-range strike campaign and deplete Ukrainian air defense missiles. Russian forces are further intensifying offensive operations in select frontline areas, likely in order to capitalize on any immediate and longer-term battlefield impacts of the cessation of U.S. aid to Ukraine. Russian forces recently advanced into northern Sumy Oblast for the first time since 2022, when Ukrainian forces pushed Russian forces from significant swathes of Ukrainian territory following the initial months of Russian advances. Russian forces likely intend to leverage limited advances into Sumy Oblast to completely expel Ukrainian forces from Kursk Oblast, among other objectives. Russian forces also recently intensified offensive operations aimed at seizing Chasiv Yar and attacking Kostiantynivka, the southernmost settlement of Ukraine's fortress belt in Donetsk Oblast. Russian officials continue to explicitly reject making any concessions in future peace negotiations or accepting any US, European, or Ukrainian peace proposals. Lithuania's intelligence services assessed that Russia may have the capabilities to conduct a limited campaign against one or several NATO countries within 3 to 5 years, an assessment that is consistent with ISW's assessments about Russian efforts to restructure and prepare its military and society for a future conflict with NATO in the medium to long term. The United Kingdom issued Ukraine's first tranche of revenue generated from frozen Russian assets. Russian forces recently advanced in Sumy Oblast and near Borova, Chasiv Yar, Toretsk, and Pokrovsk. The Kremlin continues to leverage its Time of Heroes program to fill government positions with veterans of its war in Ukraine as part of a long-term effort to militarize Russian society and form a new cadre of loyal Russian officials. In President Zelensky's nightly address, he spoke about 3 key areas. Firstly, deadly Russian strike hits Ukrainian city. A devastating Russian attack on Dobropilya, Donetsk region, has killed 11 people and wounded 50, including 7 children. The strike targeted residential buildings, shops, and a shopping center, with a second attack hitting emergency responders. President Zelensky condemned Russia's continued aggression, vowing to strengthen Ukraine's defenses. Secondly, Ukraine strengthens diplomatic and military alliances. Talks between Ukraine and the UK took place in Kiev, with further European discussions expected soon. Diplomatic and military representatives are preparing for a key meeting in Saudi Arabia to push Ukraine's interests. Coordination with the US remains ongoing as Ukraine seeks further support. Lastly, urgent calls for air defense and military aid. Ukraine's defense minister is expected to report on new international aid packages, with a focus on air defense systems and domestic weapons production. European allies continue to pledge military assistance, with Zelensky urging rapid implementation to counter Russia's relentless attacks. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.